Alright, you guys, we got the last of the 4 Venus Battle videos that I have from January. And Alan and I have, at this point, I think, gotten into the top 10 or 15 couples. And so we're just sitting among some opponents that really outclass us quite a bit. So even here against Legacy, no spouse, so we really just want 1 kill, right? I mean, the problem about just aiming for, gunning for only 1 kill is different than gunning to try and wipe out both players, because there are rings involved and, reviving people and whatever. But with Legacy, you never know if you're going to be able to do that. There's a possibility of going to timer, which I feel like this whole thing is like the Venus Battle of timer fights. I'm looking at the footage and it's like 20 minutes of footage, which for 9 fights and 20 minutes of footage, and I put it at 1.5 speed to move all the fights along a bit. And so yeah, so this is a lot of video. But yeah, Legacy's so strong. Can't take anything for granted, and we just really need to punch out some damage here. Of course, Legacy gets to damage 2 kids, which is always a little bit iffy when we're talking about timer fights. But against the Knight, super sturdy. I think I took a poor strategy here, which I wasn't really thinking carefully about it. I was hoping to probably just stay in Sylph mode and take away awakening points from Legacy, and also try and stay alive. Obviously, Legacy can hit me super hard, but I think I really should have gotten out of Sylph mode and tried to use Alan for all of the shields and all of the, basically tanking stuff and trying to save me, basically. But I'm the only magical damage dealer in our party, even though Frigga, I guess, deals magical attack. Most of the Frigga stuff is all elemental. So I really should have gotten out of Sylph mode and tried to deal more magical damage with my mage. So yeah, so Legacy wins on timer there. Not at all surprised by the timer win, just because of the kids and the sort of approach that I took to everything. I think it was a bad call on my part. So yeah, so for the future, and definitely for those of you who don't, who have a mage in the group and also one of the physical attack classes in your group, thinking about, when you're in Sylph mode, when you're not, if you're up against a certain class. So if you're up against physical attack classes, get that mage out of Sylph mode and dealing some big Delphics or whatever you can, and hopefully be supporting with the other class. And then if you're up against mages, then go ahead and stay in class mode with your archer or with your knight and try and deal physical damage against those mages. I wasn't really, that was just poor strategy on my part, and of course, hindsight is 2020, but it's probably something I should have tried. We could have still lost on timer, but it was just not really sound strategy on my part. And here, you'd hope that after a loss, your opponent gets just a tad weaker, which I guess Enchantress, my impression, maybe a little bit weaker than Legacy, but it's hard to tell because Enchantress is using Thor here, which I think is just inferior to Frigga in this type of situation. So that might just be the reason why she doesn't seem quite as sturdy as Legacy here. I'm not really sure where their BRs stack up next to each other, but this is, regardless, a very tough draw to see right after a loss. Enchantress, super strong. Robert, a good support, not nearly as strong, but yeah. So looking good here, but sort of. And actually, had it not gone to timer, we might have been rolling. And I took another timer loss. And then Robin was like, well, what do you expect, because you have 2 Friggas? So I was like, okay, good point. If I'm losing on timer twice with what I have, I should change it up a little. So this is a Venus battle of adjustments. So I don't get rid of the kids, which I think would be the #1. Man, what is that noise? Okay, well, whatever. If it showed up on the speaker, that's, we're just gonna live with it. I want to watch through all of this in real time, so I don't want to pause if I don't have to, or I mean, fix the recording if I don't have to. But Anyway, so we're adjusting. We have Odin now, and not totally my favorite choice. Again, I think if Alan and I play this, and Alan is playing his own tune, maybe we'll go with Odin. But I think I would think it through a bit more. You know, here I didn't have a ton of time to strategize about how I wanted to use this Odin, or what maybe adjusting my Titans to go along with Odin a bit more. I don't know necessarily off the top of my head how that would go, but it just wasn't planned out that well, so I think it wasn't a great call to just switch it up. I think the best way to go about this is just to get rid of the kids, because I think the kids are super problematic when it comes to timer wins against other strong groups. So yeah, not doing terrible here, but I think it's not great either. And then we lost to pretty solid last time. I mean, we got killed, so I'm surprised we're hanging in there as well as we are. There's one kill on Alan. We're looking like we're going to timer, folks. There's the kill on me, but I'm back. 10 seconds to go. Oh, this is tight. Oh no, a little multi-shot and I'm dead. Wait, did Alan die on a deflect? I think he did. And then I lost to that multi-shot. Oh my god, that's terrible. Alright, so in that case we just died. But it was inching on. Not even inches, we're talking just right there to going to the timer. But I probably would have lost on the timer again there, so it's just... Oof. So back to Frigga. Why haven't I gotten rid of kids yet? I just lost 3 fights on timer and I haven't gotten rid of kids. Doesn't make sense to me. Just like yelling at my former self. It's not like it was that long ago, but I'm still like, why didn't I think of this? I think it's harder when you're just in the middle of it and you're just flipping around tunes and whatever. But yeah, this is the first time where I don't... Well, I recognize the name Ramzan, but not from this game. But yeah, so... You know, this is first fight where I don't recognize either of the names, so it's probably a weaker team. But even then, they seem to be holding on pretty well. No guarantees. If he has a heal in the mix, we could go well into the 100% bonus. So you got 3 minutes to make these fights work. Alright, we got it, right? We're good. Yeah, we're good. Alright, there's one win. How many? Okay, that was my first win after what, 3 fights? Yeah. Harsh. Oh boy, and then 1 win and I get Zardoz, so... Whew, this is definitely the roughest of the weeks. Zardoz is I'm pretty sure the highest BR mage out of the bunch. I can't imagine anybody with more BR. Holy crap, and he's buffed? Oh, they bought inspiration buffs? I can't believe anybody actually did that. That's amazing. In the worst of ways, I cannot believe anybody buffed for this event. And power to them if that's what they want to do. But I mean, the rewards from this event are complete trash. And I mean, I don't think that's really getting you anywhere. I wouldn't spend 1 Balin on any of these events. On Ares War, for the different skills that are possible, for any of the inspiration for Athena War, or I don't think there's anything you can cash in Venus Battle, so maybe that's why. Wait. Yeah, actually, how are they buffed? I was about to say, there are no buffs for Venus Battle. Where are the little 10 on them? There must be an inspiration thing like there was for Titan War, and I just have not. It was just so not on my radar at all. I'm just so amazed to see it at this point. Well, we're gonna die, right? No timer on that. No way. Alright. Keep an eye on it for it. Blessing of Venus formation. Oh, that little red button on the side was the inspiration. Holy crap, I didn't notice that when we were fighting. Probably too busy flipping between the two tunes. Celine and Shimmy. Okay, people I don't recognize, which is always better in a fight, but you never know, because plenty of strong players out there. If they're fighting me at this point, they're probably in gold group, so they probably have a good chunk of points, have been winning plenty. Alright, so I did get rid of one kid at this point, but I wasn't willing to give up Panda. The biggest thing, the hardest part where you're like, okay, am I going to give up the kids today? Which sounds really bad when you call them kids. Am I going to give up the U-Demons today? Is that the awakening points are just so wretched. Like, the moment that you take off that kid, just getting your awakening, like, Sylph mode just becomes so terribly short. If I can even get Alan into Sylph mode right now. Got a cluster bomb. Decent hit on Celine. Why am I not in Sylph mode? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, no. Awakening points taken away from Alan. We got one kill. You know, the rings in these situations when you have, you know, playing with two Friggas or pretty much any pairing, at least one person has a Frigga. Once in a while you see two Odins, but regardless, you know, just these fights can drag on, and then, you know, the revives happen, so very easy to go to timer. But that time, I'm sure there I was like, I gotta get a big hit because I do not want this damn thing to go to timer again. And so then I just give up the other kid. That didn't go to timer, but it looked like it was going so close. I'm sure I was just like, okay, screw it, we're going with both kids at this point. And my next fight is with Big Bailey. I think I beat Big Bailey last week, right? In the video before? Maybe? Maybe I'm lying. No, I'm trying to think that. I think I did. But I had both kids back then, and I went for the kill. But yeah, I mean, I was fighting Denahi earlier in this video, and it was obviously dragging on much longer, so who knows. You know, I think the BRs are shifting quite a bit with all the Chinese New Year stuff. I don't know why they call it Chinese New Year. I know it's a Chinese game, and so maybe they're like, fine calling it a Chinese New Year. But no, I mean, probably the vast majority of people who celebrate it outside of America do not call it Chinese New Year. Lots of people celebrate the Lunar New Year. It's the New Year based on the solar, on the lunar calendar instead of the solar calendar. Lots of people celebrate the Lunar New Year, not just Chinese people. But yeah, but because of all the Chinese New Year celebration stuff, and having all these fancy recharges and these flash sales for really great items, like I got a ton of tattoo engraving stones for only one Balin a piece, so that was really good, and also the recharges, they give a lot of smelting stones and engraving stones. So I've taken advantage of some of that, so that's why my tune has gotten so much stronger quickly, and then I'll just sort of ride out those Balins for a while. Alan sort of came in the middle of that, so he hasn't had as much of that, of those recharges and things, but I'm sure he will do plenty of them, and so he'll probably pass me pretty soon. So there we had a timer win, finally, right? Got a timer win. Yeah, it was the awakening points are definitely bad. I wasn't able to stay in Sylph mode very long, but yeah, I mean, if the results are a win, then I can't really complain. So I stick with the strategy. Here up against Fear and Kenshin, who are strong, but I imagine have really cut back in recent times. So so I definitely have a chance here. But wow, all these long fights. Two Frigga setup, I'm not surprised at all if it's actually Fear playing. He likes Frigga quite a bit. Oh, Nick is saying in chat that I had Frigga in Titan Temple. So you know if I'm in Titan Temple that I'm definitely ranking a bit higher in BR. I must be somewhere in the top 100. Apparently I have Frigga. I should change whichever Sylph I have at the end of the day. But that's so hard to control. I mean, I think Titan Temple is difficult for people no matter what. I think putting a Knight Kid on at the end of the night, if you're a top player, is really rough. You know, Knights give shields, and they also steal people's rage at the beginning, and so that's really difficult to deal with, because people usually need that initial rage to get rid of, you know, whichever tunes they killed with the little buff that instantly kills one person. And that's how some of the, you know, more medium BR players are managed to get through Titan Temple. So they're grabbing a win. And here we have Zardoz again with the inspiration buffs. The inspiration on both of them at level 10. It's like, oh my god, it's mortifying. Oh, and so many bound Balins. There's so many bound Balins I could use for Rider's Box and get like 1,000,000 mounts. I have been doing Rider's Box with bound Balins recently, and it has been great. And now, as I'm starting to get more mounts, there's probably like 60-something, like 65 or so mounts that I don't have from just what Rider's Box says. You know, it says like 160-something mounts out of, not 160 mounts, like 100-something mounts out of 200-something mounts, and once I got to the point where it was like less than 70 mounts that I'm missing, it's been much harder for me to get a title mount that I haven't already gotten. So I've put that on pause, and if I do get, you know, plenty more bound Balins or whatever, I'll just save them up, and once it gets to the point where there are a lot more mounts for me to get from Rider's Box, then I'll think about doing some more of that. So yeah, I took another loss. No surprises there. Oh, and I get Enchantress again. Oh my god, this knight is so mortifying. How many fights have I won? I think maybe like 3. 1, 2, 3, maybe 3. Alright, so this is a good test. This is like a good measure, right? Because before we lost to Enchantress on timer. And I do not recall the result of this fight whatsoever. But without the kids, do I end up dying? Who knows? Okay. And when I see that Thor, you just boom, 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 need to steal, get rid of those awakening points. Do not want those in the picture, but even with the steals, look, Enchantress is... Okay, I got 2 steals on Enchantress. I think she's already used at least 1 Delphic, right? And she's still in good shape with awakening points. So Knights are just amazing that way. Again, the reason why I think they're easily the best PvP class. PvE, when there's mobs and they need to AoE real quick, they're a total pain in the butt for anybody who doesn't have, like, crazy good clothing. But otherwise, PvP, Knights. Just too good. And I'm probably like, oh my god, need to live. Okay, we got like 40 seconds that I need to live. Am I gonna live for 40 seconds? Not with some huge AoE coming. There I go. Okay, I'm dead. Alright, so without the kids I get killed, and with the kids, I went to timer with those guys. So that's just super sad sauce, but, you know, you gotta change it up to try and win, and, some success, some failure, or just some, you know, same results. But yeah, that was rough. And so there are 5 people. I don't know, something seems weird here because it says I'm in gold group, but then on this list it says I'm 7th. I feel like the rankings up top are old, and then the one that's listed at the bottom is right. I think I'm 9th. I think I dropped a couple ranks from the last time. Is my guess. But anyway, that was super fun, and then we're not gonna have one for a little while because the the week after this, the week after what I'm showing, is Super Bowl Sunday, and so there was a lot of... I had a good time on Super Bowl Sunday, put it that way. There was a lot going on that wasn't Venus Battle. Even though the Pats won, which is really depressing. But everything else was wonderful on that Sunday. I went to a basketball game, I went to a Super Bowl party, and it was just, yeah. That's what happens in America on Super Bowl Sunday. That's how to do it right. Is basketball, then football, then too much booze. Or too much booze with there was booze everywhere and sports everywhere, and it was just a really lovely Sunday. So I hope all of you at least had a little bit of fun with Super Bowl Sunday, even if you're not from the US, you just like rock it on with all of us. And anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Plenty more to come. I'm gonna have a big battleground video coming up where I'm gonna use all of my sylphs instead of just using Frigga, so that's coming up. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks, take care, have a very good day.